I think most businesses overlook what their IP is because they perhaps take it for granted. They might be an established brand in the UK and they therefore have never considered where they have liability in what their know-how is.
I think when it comes to things like trademarks, I think that's a no-brainer. Companies need to protect their trademarks. If you are in software or in publishing or anything like that, copyright, again, that's an automatic right and really should be protected in a very straightforward way. Design rights are quite similar. So think about what intellectual property you have. And take advice is what I would say.
We've had a few problems since we've become well known in the industry because it took us a long time to get to that point. There aren't very many companies in the world that do what we do, but as your brand, if you like, gets more and more known, we got to a point about probably 10 years ago, I think, where we started to worry that a company could open up and call themselves Corotherm and use our logo, and there wasn't anything we could do about it if they wanted to do that. So we've now done the trademark and the logo protection, the copyright and everything, because we didn't want to get into a situation where we find a local company is copying what we're doing and find ourselves in a situation where we couldn't do anything about it.
I think it's very easy for people to come along to a training event and then take away ideas and information, quote things that they've heard and pass them off as their own. One of the things that has happened, which I've noticed, is that some of our paper-based materials have been copied by retyping and that sort of thing. And in lots of ways, maybe people don't realise that that's an infringement of copyright, but we're making sure that people who come and be part of the organisation know that it's an infringement of copyright. So we've done a lot around in protecting our intellectual property.
The other side of it that is becoming something that needs to be protected is your actual domain names, because that again is important, and it is a route into your business that lots of people might search with the company name. If you've got the domains registered, then at least you're protecting them. And there are people out there that buy domains to sell them back to users.
In other ways, we tried to protect it by working with people whom we thought were reputable. So if you're working with Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC, the Gulf banks, Mashreq or whoever it is, these are proper decent people. They're not going to swindle you. And so we tended at first to try to work with organisations that we felt were trustworthy.
And the other thing that I would always recommend companies to do, if they have anything that they wish to keep confidential, and most companies do, always have a non-disclosure agreement. It makes sense if you're going to go, for example, and talk to a potential distributor for the first time to have a non-disclosure agreement in place.
I don't think we have the attitude that the product is the IP as such. It's actually our implementation. And it's our understanding and that of our partners as to why this is beneficial. Anybody can replicate, but whether they can actually explain how this is a useful and beneficial product is something entirely different.